Listen, beautiful people, it is virtually impossible to not be a fan of Khalil Rountree as an MMA fan. I mean, the man always gives it his all, goes out on a shield, fights the best, never afraid. The man is the definition of what a mixed martial artist should be. And also, he's unbelievably exciting. You can say whatever you want about the man's cardio, grappling skills, this and that, whatever, but you will never see Rountree in a boring fight. And his career, the evolution has been unbelievable. If you actually think about it, I split his career into two halves. The first half was, ever since he turned pro until the Johnny Walker fight. Got knocked out versus Johnny Walker with a violent elbow. What did the man do? Completely disappeared. Traveled to Thailand, worked on himself, worked on his Muay Thai skills, and came back versus Eric Anders and Gokhan Saki better than ever. Knocked both of them out. Muay Thai style. The man is truly a student of the game. But beautiful people, we gotta be honest here. The level of punishment that Rountree absorbed in the last 12 months, not only is it career changing, but it is life altering, to be honest. That war versus Pereira and this past weekend versus Yuri Prohaska, and you're not talking about him absorbing power shots versus someone like Ankalaev, or, even though they are all heavy punchers, but you're talking about Pereira and Yuri, two of the most devastating punchers in the history of the light heavyweight division, but especially that Pereira fight. That Pereira fight took so much out of Rountree. And even though he did bounce back and fight Jamal Hill, and he gave Jamal Hill all he can handle, looked absolutely spectacular in that fight, but his chin did not get tested, and his conditioning and his will, his fighting spirit did not get tested in that fight. But, the way that Yuri Prohaska put him out, and the way that he folded versus Pereira, that shows you that he truly gave it his all, but he simply didn't have anything left to give in both fights. But the question is this: how many times are you willing to go to the well? How many times are you willing to go to the absolute darkest valleys of despair to come out victorious? And the man is not in his late 20s anymore. He's not in his early 20s anymore. He's not in his early 30s anymore. He is in his, I believe, late 30s now. And it's been an incredible journey for Rountree, and the man definitely gave us some unforgettable moments. But you gotta ask yourself now, what are you fighting for, and is it worth it? Because like I said, the punishment that the man absorbed in the past 12 months, I believe he fought, from October, he fought in October 2024, Pereira, and October 2025, Yuri. But not just the punishment even that he absorbed in the fights, in both fights, but the training camps, everything keeps on adding up. And I don't think I have ever, we don't really see many people take such level of punishment within 12 months. You're not talking about a quick knockout. For example, what Ankalaev just suffered versus Pereira. Yes, he did lose in emphatic fashion early, and he did get his clock cleaned with that violent right hand, but he didn't take a lot of punishment. It's almost better for you to get knocked out early than to be put in the absolute meat grinder and take over 150 headshots the way that he did versus Alex Pereira. And like I said, you're talking about different type of punchers. You're talking about Alex Pereira. Rountree said that when he was getting hit by Pereira, he was like, this man carries fist of stones. He's never been hit as hard. but he's also never been hit as many times in his entire career in one fight. Nothing in comparison to the Alex Pereira fight, which is very concerning, to be honest. And you can tell that the man is so smart, he's so intelligent, he's so charismatic that he can do whatever he wants and he will without a doubt be successful at it. Whether you're talking about, hosting a talk show, whether you're talking about podcasting, analyzing fights, being a commentator, whatever you can think of that's related to the game or not. The man is definitely capable of finding success everywhere and anywhere because he's absolutely intelligent, charismatic, and most importantly, he's one of the good guys in the sport. So I don't think that he got many enemies in the industry or, when you talk about the UFC brass, so it will definitely be easy for him to get opportunities and be successful at them, most importantly. So the real question is this. Is it worth it anymore for Rountree? I mean, listen, selfishly, as an MMA fan, you don't want to see these guys leave. You want to see these guys keep on giving us all these exceptional, once-in-a-lifetime type of wars. But they're the ones that will pay for it. And even though it might not show up now, but, year after year, punch after punch, camp after camp, fight after fight, this is everything but healthy. You know what I mean? So, I don't know really. I don't know. I feel for Khalil Rountree. I think that he is definitely capable of competing with the best. And, I mean, if you actually think about it, the man did come back from many devastating losses. Like, for example, that Iwan Kutilaba fight, that loss that he suffered a few years ago, and even that Johnny Walker knockout that he suffered a few years ago, and many other fights. But the man he's shown his resilience. But like I said, suffering two violent, devastating knockout losses back to back to back. I don't know. The human part in me, not the MMA fan in me, the human part in me wants to see the man just, I don't know, or at least don't fight punchers, but that's not really an option because you're talking about the light heavyweight division, the big boys, they can all punch, and you're in the UFC. So it is impossible, virtually impossible for you to get an easy fight. So in all actuality, what should be next for Khalil Rountree? I mean, listen, most importantly, the man needs to rest. He needs to rest at least for 6 to 8 months because I believe the punishment, like I said, that he absorbed in the last 12 months, it is not career changing. It is life altering. I mean, that last round versus Pereira, my God, and especially, this is what's actually worse, beautiful people. He's taking the most amount of punishment, like for example in the year fight in the 3rd round and versus Alex Pereira in the 3rd and 4th round, he's taking an absurd level of punishment while tired. So not enough oxygen reaching the brain, getting, hit clean by these devastating punches while you're tired. And the way that he went down versus Yuri, I'm not gonna lie, it was concerning to me. I was genuinely scared for the man. It's because we all love Khalil Rountree. The man is so exceptional as a human being, most importantly, like I said. I mean, all these elite fighters, they can all fight. But are they all exceptional human beings? I don't think you can say that. But not for Rountree. Not for Rountree. Rountree is definitely, without a doubt, an exceptional human being. The man is so humble, like I said. He's so gracious. He's so respectful. He carries that samurai warrior's code with him. Win, lose, or draw. But I think that we have reached a stage now where we gotta start asking questions. Is it really worth it to go through the absolute gauntlet again and to go through the fire again and take this type of punishment again? I'm not sure really, but I don't think so. In my humble opinion, if I was, a one of his family members, I would tell the man, listen, you have nothing to prove anymore. You gained all the hearts and all the respect and all the admiration of all the MMA fans around the world. You don't have anything to prove anymore. We already know that you're an absolute dog. We already know that you're absolutely elite. But let's be honest, it's going to be very tough for the man to become a champion. You know, losing 2 devastating losses within a year. Arguably say that he's slowly but surely leaving his prime, but especially with this type of punishment, the man is definitely not going to be getting better. The man's chin is definitely not going to be getting stronger. The man's will is breaking. Because when you keep losing in such violent fashions, you're a human at the end of the day. So you're gonna have that voice in your head telling you that, am I good anymore? Was I ever that good? But he knows, he got all the correct people around him to tell him that yes, you are definitely elite, but I'm not too sure how many more of these fights he can handle without, without, God forbid, the worst could happen, and I just, from the bottom of my heart, I wish the absolute best, nothing but the best for Khalil Rountree, and like I said, he definitely needs some rest, and God willing, if he wishes to continue, may God protect him. That's all I can say, because what I saw Saturday was definitely scary.